Moo! Welcome everyone to Moo Cavern. Wow. So this is my latest mini park. It is completely underground. And well, I think it's pretty obvious, but I made it sure that the walls would be lit. Um, the concept is this very, well, it looks pretty big actually. But it's not that big. So there's 5 giant roller coasters, and they're all synchronized, but they all make no sense together. And well, let's have a look. I think it's pretty obvious, but you know, custom lights, custom everything, lots of custom supports. And these are the 5 coasters. They are fully synchronized. They cross together. They cross that bridge at the same time. And so we have a wooden coaster, hydraulic launch. This is a stand-up. This is a winged coaster that we see right there. And this is a single rail coaster. Now I'm standing here because they're about to come here at the same time. Hopefully none of them are broken, because if one is broken, the other ones will not wait for them. Come on, coaster. I believe in you. Like, dude, we're recording here for YouTube. You're me. There we go. There we go. See, so that's where they're synchronized at. They all cross at the same time. I think this one was broken. I didn't see it. So yeah, let's go have a look at these pretty cool coasters over there. They all have embed lights except the wooden coaster, so I'm gonna show you that in detail in a moment. The whole thing was built on challenge mode, hardest difficulty, so it has a running economy, fully functional and everything. And I make a ton of money. Sometimes you see the monthly profit go down, but that's just like because not every month is a good month. But it's not as if I needed more money. If I needed more money, I could have just made more money. All the stations are castles with mostly the same pieces, but they are all themed differently. This one is kind of like a rooftop castle made out of square structures, and I keep clipping into things, sorry about that. But obviously the result isn't square at all. So you go in this way. Then there's this little courtyard here with pretty cool view. You'll notice that some of the walls are still dark, and that's on purpose. I wanted the walls to not be fully lit. I wanted to keep some of that darkness. It adds to the contrast, you know? There we go. Let's go. So that's the stand-up coaster. We are standing up here. So something that's interesting to note, because it has a working economy, by the way the exit is right here, all the rides have great stats for sure, reasonable G-forces. They all last 100-second duration, but the duration keeps changing depending on when there's inspections. The truth is it is 100 second, and obviously is making a ton of money. All 5 of them. So next up, over here, we got the hydraulic launch with a cute little inner courtyard here at the entrance. And then this little room over here, and let's go sit in it. Also, I'm gonna give you a better view of the castle afterward. This castle, I call it the three-legged castle because it has 3 legs under and also a huge butt in the back. It has a lot of lights. It's my most lit one and interesting round shapes. You'll see in a moment. Oh, by the way, you'll probably notice these visual glitches ahead. There's nothing I can do about that. It's this type of ride, which I will never build again because of that. It just makes these glitches. That, by the way, is the only ride that actually exits the park, um, well, through the ceiling. Uh, it's sort of hidden there in the back. So yeah, the castle, pretty lights mostly. A little bit of round shapes here. Um, I it's still not my favorite castle. I have my favorite castle. It's hard because I really love everything that I made. But yeah, I do have a favorite. That's not the one. So yeah, let's keep going. I'm gonna pause the game here because otherwise we're probably gonna miss the coasters. Also, it might trigger the in-game music, which would be great. Over here we got the biggest stalagmite with lots of structures. That was the first ride that we went through. Just the start of the ride was actually inside here. Um, and it is used to hold this ride, the hot air balloons. Yeah, there we go. We got the in-game music now. Cute little room here with pretty lights. I'm not gonna make you ride this ride because it just rotates and that's it. It's a very basic ride. Not that interesting. It's fun. Like in real life, that's the kind of ride I actually enjoy. But in game, I would rather ride my huge coasters. They're more fun. One interesting thing about this, we sort of glanced very quickly is this room here. There's an actual room here with a little door and some torches. Unfortunately, the torches was making a ridiculously bright amount of light. I kind of glanced very quickly here. Let me show you better. There we go. So a little room with this little door. And yeah, the torches were making too much light, so I actually turned them off and put custom lights, just one custom red light in there instead. Yeah, I really like those structures in the walls, and you've seen it from the hydraulic coaster here. These structures, this bunch of structures, you go left and right. I I think here this is like my favorite part of the entire park. Just going through these structures in the coaster. It's just so much fun. Um, so going back to where we were here, on this side we got the Ferris wheel. Just wanted to look at it. Changes color and everything. It's very pretty. And this is the biggest stalagmite. Did I say stalagmite for this? This is a stalactite. This is a stalagmite. So this is the biggest stalagmite. Once again, there's also a coaster going through it. This time you'll see, this is the wing coaster. We'll see it later. It's much faster. So another whole bunch of castle structures on this. The stalagmite and the stalactite, those two are the ones with the most structures. There's also a few of them in the walls, mostly on that side here in the back. This one has these plants. These are sort of like mushroom, fungi, moss, weird thing. Basically, don't touch this. It might be toxic. It's a kind of plant that grows in the dark, which, you know, is convenient since there's a roof on this thing. And yeah, I decided that this would be the only plant that would be growing in the park. Also, kind of a scary but really cool view. I like it. See more structures here. So yeah, nothing special about this. It's just a Ferris wheel. Other than when you're in it, it's pretty dark at the top, but it's also pretty cool. It's a cool view. So going back out of this thing, it's actually very popular. So I only built 2 rides, and that's a good trick if you want to make money. If you have like any boring ride, like a Ferris wheel, build only one of them, and then it will make money. If you build multiple boring rides, the target public will be split between them and you'll be making less money. The only thing in the entire park that is not actually making money is this crane machine and this beverage area. Like, if I can click on it. There we go. See, lifetime profit, and even then it's like it's a minor loss, so I'm okay with that. Same thing, claw machine, very minor loss. Everything else in the entire park is actually making money. Obviously I don't actually have charge for my bathroom, so I guess there's that. Whatever. Um, oh, by the way, if you're wondering, if you like those lights, I've modified them a little bit so that they can be held onto the road. Oh, and also a bunch of custom supports for the roads. Really enjoy those. So for the lights, they're actually available on the workshop. I have a... I'll put a link to the workshop in the video I'll start doing that, like just a general link to the workshop, because usually what I do is I just put a link to the actual park, but yeah, I'll put my whole workshop stuff. So this here is the wooden one, but I want to ride it last. So first, let's go do the wing coaster. So I'm just gonna present the castle real quick. The wooden one is a giant inverted castle with a courtyard in the back. There's technically a courtyard here, although there's no door leading to it. And you can see here, like it ends right there. The wing coaster, that one is more like embed to the side. It still like ends right there, which I think is pretty cool. Um, if we go here, this is the entrance. It's a little bit dark, but it's kind of on purpose. And then you're above nothing here for one small moment. And you go into this spire here, which is technically floating and just attached. Like it's not floating, but it's attached through the side here and through the side there, right there. So it's supported by other things on the side, but it's not. There's no support at the top or bottom of it. And then inside you also have another tiny inverted castle here. So let's go to the wing, and I think I want to do no, the right side here. So there's right side and left side, and there's a huge difference. I'm just gonna fast forward real quick. There we go. Ah, you know, I've actually seen these rides many times, and I'm still enjoying them. So yeah, right side, left side on this ride actually makes a big difference on the experience, but both of them are so much fun. I was just in the mood for right side, that's all. This is my favorite castle of all of them. It's the super abstract castle. It looks like it's floating. It actually is not. Every piece of this thing is attached to something, and it's supported all the way down. If you can see. Um, so that is the single rail coaster. For the fun of it, I call it the monorail. I'm just gonna pause because it's about to start. Um, so yeah, I called it the monorail. Yeah, like they're all great coasters, obviously. So as you go in, you have this crazy, chaotic view, which I absolutely love. Yeah, Yeah, alright. Let's go in. Fast forward. Looks like there was a little bit more time than I anticipated. There we go. Let's go. I really hate when there's hands in front of the camera, and it is something that is not possible to disable. It's very frustrating. By the way, this is the ending part that we've just seen, the double loop. Yeah, it's pretty impressive from the outside view. You probably noticed that there's a whole bunch of custom supports, and every ride has some, like this structure over there, for example. I love doing custom supports. It's actually very easy and very quick when you know what you're doing. So the final one, the wooden coaster. That was kind of a crazy story. So the wooden coaster, by the way, this is the little courtyard here in the back. So what happened with the wooden coaster is it's the first coaster that I built in the park. And then using that for as the running economy, then I built the rest. Now I've built the coaster first, and then I basically modeled the cavern around it, and I'll continue after the ride. and it just broke down. Well, you know, that's what happens when you have an actual running park with a running economy. And since the start of the video, I look at my money. I think I doubled my money. It's kind of crazy how much money I'm making with this park. And that is on hardest difficulty, so... for those who think that, you know, you need to wait for the economy and blah blah blah, that's because you don't understand the game. That's all. It's very easy to make money in this game. So this was the first roller coaster that I built. Look at the layout. We can see the layout if I zoom out a little bit. That's pretty cool, actually. Um, so that was the first coaster that I built in the park, and then I modeled the cavern around it. The only thing that I had before that was the giant stalagmite and giant stalactite. And I used it to inspire my layout, basically. Um, and then after that, I started building the other coasters. Like, the second coaster that I built was the hydraulic launch. And now, you'll notice at the end it was actually going slow. There is no brake run on this. The only brakes are the brakes in the station. That's just from loss of momentum. Basically, I was at the end of the rope here. If I wanted the roller coaster to be longer, I would have needed a second chain lift or a longer chain lift at the start here, and I didn't want it to do that. I wanted to keep it simple, one chain lift, that's it. And all the rides have embed lights in them, but not the wooden coaster. So when I've built this bridge here, I removed the supports because it's going over buildings, and the supports would have just went right through because it's scenery. It doesn't not prevent the supports. It doesn't prevent the supports otherwise. So I figured, how do I hold this? So I made a rope bridge. Like, there's actual, you know, wooden support under and everything. So I made a rope bridge, and then my wife said, like, hey, you should light that rope bridge. It would be great. So I did. I added the fairy lights. Like, I told her, oh, I have an idea. I'm gonna use like those Christmas lights all throughout the rope bridge, and I mean, it looks pretty amazing, right? So after I done that, I was like, I should continue it on the ride itself. So I did a little part of it, and then I was like, okay, this is too good. I have to do it. And that was one of the first things that I built in the park, and it was the very last one that I finished because there's 1,200 of them. So placing these lights was the stupidest, craziest, greatest thing I ever did. Uh, Huge amount of effort. You gotta place them one by one. Because this here, there's no collision. There's collision here, but it doesn't necessarily match what's here. Especially when you get in a place here. Over here. Especially, you know, when you get in a place with banking like this. See, the road here, the rail here is tilted. This is straight. So it doesn't match. It doesn't match at all. So placing these took a long time, and I'm actually surprised that I stuck with it and I did the entire thing. I guess, you know, when you stream, that really helps. Um, one of the things that I did, was here. Let's just pause the game so we don't hear that roller coaster again. It's very loud. One of the things that I did was, whenever a roller coaster would pass through the supports, I didn't want the coaster to actually pass through the supports. So I added things like this. You know, creating a little tunnel, creating a little overpass, things like that, so that all the rides that interact with it could interact without going through the supports. I wanted only the wooden support to pass through the wooden supports. Wooden coaster to pass through the wooden supports. So it made me shape the land in interesting ways like this, just so that the wooden support would be separated from the rest of the coasters. Um, and it's all these things. Basically, you want something, but it's not working out, so it becomes a puzzle, and you're just shaping it all together. And in the end, you have this really cool thing. I could look at this for hours. I love every detail. Look at all these custom supports for the roads. By the way, it's kind of crazy when you think about it, how much elevation there is everywhere, but the main path is just completely flat. Completely flat. The only moment when it's not flat, it's going up to this ride, going down to this ride. That's it. So, that's basically it. I didn't label any of my stores because I really liked the clean look of it. Same thing for the rides. It's not labeled, and the rides themselves don't even have actual names. It's just the stand-up, the hydraulic. They're really just named after the type of coaster they are. But all in all, I had a great time. This was 2 months, 2 months only. And for those out there who wants to do quick projects, stick to mini parks. Alright? Mini parks is the reason why I'm able to make that many small things and that many awesome things. So, hope you enjoyed. It is on the workshop, like I said, and you can find a link to my entire workshop collection in the video, as well as specifically to this ride. So on this, I am saying Moo, and thank you for watching. See you next time.